Every year, millions of people walk into dealerships looking for a tough, capable 4x4. Something that can handle snow, hit a trail, and maybe tow a boat on weekends. And every year, thousands of those people drive home in one of the 5 SUVs on this list. They then spend the next few years regretting it. I'm not talking about minor annoyances like a squeaky brake or a weird infotainment glitch. I'm talking about transmissions that shred themselves, wheels that fall off while driving, and batteries that catch fire in your garage at 3 in the morning. These are the 5 worst 4x4 SUVs you can buy in 2026. And if you're currently shopping for one of them, this video might save you thousands. Let's start with a used market trap that's caught hundreds of thousands of buyers. Number 5. The Nissan Pathfinder 2013 through 2021. The Pathfinder name goes back to 1986. The original was a genuine body-on-frame truck with a real transfer case and serious off-road capability. It earned a loyal following. Then, in 2013, Nissan gutted everything that made it a Pathfinder. They moved it to a car-based unibody platform and replaced the traditional automatic transmission with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. On paper, Nissan said the CVT would improve fuel economy. In reality, they had installed a ticking time bomb. Here is the engineering problem. A CVT uses a steel chain running between 2 pulleys. Hydraulic pressure clamps the pulleys to transmit power. In a lightweight sedan, that system works fine. In a 4,500-pound 3-row SUV hauling a family and a trailer, the chain slips, and once it slips, it gouges the pulley surfaces. Metal shavings contaminate the fluid. Then it is over. Owners reported violent shuddering during acceleration, hesitation when merging onto highways, and complete transmission failure sometimes before 60,000 miles. The fix was not a repair. It was a full replacement. Cost $3,000 to $6,000. The problem was so widespread that Nissan faced a class action lawsuit that resulted in a $277 million settlement covering 2013 through 2018 models. That is not a small quality hiccup. That is an engineering failure that affected an entire generation of vehicles. The transmission problems cratered resale values so badly that a used Pathfinder from this era costs thousands less than a comparable Toyota Highlander or Honda Pilot. That looks like a deal until you realize the market has already priced in the near certainty that the transmission will fail. Nissan forums are filled with owners who bought what looked like a bargain, only to face a repair bill that exceeded the vehicle's trade-in value within 2 years. And the newer 2022 Plus models that switched to a 9-speed automatic fixed the CVT nightmare, but owners are already reporting transmission software issues, check engine lights at 11,000 miles, and replacement transmissions on backorder. Nissan cannot seem to get transmission reliability right in the Pathfinder, no matter what hardware they use. And speaking of vehicles where the hype does not match the reality, this next one might make some people angry. Number 4. The Ford Bronco 2021 through 2025. The Bronco revival was one of the most anticipated vehicle launches in decades. Ford nailed the marketing, the retro styling, the removable doors and roof, the Sasquatch package. People waited years for their orders. Forums tracked build dates like NASA tracking a shuttle launch. Then the vehicles actually arrived, and the recall notices started stacking up like parking tickets. The 2025 Ford Bronco has 12 active NHTSA recalls. Not over its lifetime, just for the 2025 model year. Front lower control arm fasteners were not tightened properly. which means the control arm can detach from the frame while driving. Ford issued a do not drive warning for that one. Front upper control arm ball joint fasteners were missing or improperly tightened. Transmission valve bodies were machined incorrectly, causing reverse gear failure or unexpected forward movement when you are supposed to be in neutral. Windshields were not properly bonded and could detach in a crash. Seat bolts were loose or missing. Electronic brake booster failures can kill your power brake assist without warning. And the Bronco is not alone. Ford issued over 140 total recalls across all models in 2025, more than any other U.S. automaker has ever issued in a single year. Consumer Reports rates the Bronco as less reliable than other vehicles in its class. The Bronco looks incredible. It is genuinely capable off-road. Ford absolutely nailed the concept. They just could not nail the quality control. And when you are paying between $40,000 and $60,000 for a vehicle, you should not have to wonder whether the wheels are properly attached. If you think losing confidence in your vehicle is bad, wait until you see how fast this next one loses your money. Number 3, the Land Rover Defender 2020 to present. The new Defender is gorgeous. It has genuine off-road hardware, a beautiful interior, and the kind of road presence that turns heads at every stoplight. It also hemorrhages money faster than almost any other SUV on the market. According to iSeeCars, a new Defender loses 51% of its value in 5 years. You buy one for $57,000, and 5 years later, it is worth about $28,000. That is nearly $30,000 in depreciation alone, before you factor in insurance, maintenance, and repairs. One owner of a Defender 130 on the Land Rover forums shared their experience. They paid $92,000 for a fully loaded model. 14 months later, CarMax offered them $62,000. That is a $30,000 loss in just over a year. Compare that to a Toyota 4Runner in the same price range. After 5 years, a 4Runner typically retains 70 to 75% of its value. The Defender retains less than half. Consumer Reports expects the Defender to be less reliable than other new vehicles based on Land Rover's brand history. And there are specific mechanical concerns too. A recall covering 2020 through 2024 models addressed oil filter housings made from the wrong type of plastic that could crack, leak oil onto hot engine components, and start a fire. Another recall addressed water pump pulley belt failures. 2 security recalls tried to reduce the growing problem of Defenders being stolen. Repair costs compound the depreciation pain. Land Rover parts are expensive. Independent mechanics often will not touch them, and dealer labor rates for premium brands can run $200 or more per hour. The Defender is an incredible vehicle when it works. The problem is that when it works is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. And while it sits in the shop, it is also sitting on your bank account. One forum member summed it up perfectly. They traded a 2006 Toyota Land Cruiser with 240,000 miles for $20,000 and used it toward a new Defender. The Land Cruiser had barely lost value in nearly 2 decades. The Defender lost more than that in its first year alone. When you come from a Toyota 4x4, the depreciation curve of a Land Rover feels like driving off a cliff. Now, if you think 12 recalls on a Ford Bronco is bad, this next vehicle makes that look like a minor inconvenience. Number 2, the Jeep Grand Cherokee WL 2022 to present. Jeep redesigned the Grand Cherokee on a brand new platform for 2022. New architecture, new technology, new interior. Also new problems. a staggering number of new problems. The 2022 Grand Cherokee has been recalled 20 times by NHTSA. 20. The 2023 model had 19 recalls. The 2024 had 15. Consumer Reports gave the 2022, the 2023, and the 2024 models its lowest predicted reliability score, 1 out of 5. AutoGuide named it one of the top 3 worst SUVs to buy in 2026 and said you would have to be out of your mind to pay luxury money for a Grand Cherokee. Let me walk through some of these recalls, because the specifics matter. A recall covering over 338,000 vehicles addressed upper control arm ball joints that could separate from the steering knuckle. That means the wheel could fall outward from the vehicle while you are driving. Stellantis said the wheel does not fully separate, but instead it can come loose. Not exactly reassuring. Another recall covered front seat side airbag connectors that were not properly secured, meaning the AR bags might not deploy in a crash. There were recalls for rear seat head restraints that would not lock in the upright position, and blower motors that failed and disabled the windshield defroster. The 4xe plug-in hybrid deserves its own category of disasters. Fire risk from defective battery packs, software errors causing loss of drive power, engine debris causing engine failure. The 4xe alone has been recalled multiple times, with the remedy for some recalls still under development as of late 2025. The Grand Cherokee starts at around $40,000, and the 4xe pushes well past $60,000. At those prices, you are paying luxury money for a vehicle that Consumer Reports ranks among the least reliable SUVs you can buy. That math does not work, no matter how you calculate it. But somehow, one Jeep managed to earn an even worse spot on this list. Number 1. The worst 4x4 SUV you can buy in 2026, the Jeep Wrangler 4xe. In February 2024, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration issued something it almost never does, an official park outside consumer alert. The agency told Wrangler 4xe owners to park their vehicles outside, away from structures and other vehicles, because the SUV could catch fire while parked. Let that register. A federal safety agency told people not to park their own vehicle in their own garage because it might burn their house down. The recall covered over 154,000 Wrangler 4xe and Grand Cherokee 4xe models from 2020 through 2024. The problem was the Samsung SDI high-voltage battery packs. Internal separator damage could cause the battery to fail and ignite. Fires could happen while driving or while the vehicle was just sitting in a parking lot. 2 injuries had been reported at the time of the recall, along with 27 consumer complaints. The agency also warned owners not to charge unrepaired vehicles because the fire risk increases when the battery is fully charged. So you own a plug-in hybrid that you cannot plug in and cannot park indoors. Then, in late 2025, another recall covered 91,000 Grand Cherokee 4xe models from 2022 through 2026 for a software defect in the battery pack control module that could cause complete loss of drive power. And yet another recall for engine debris causing engine failure and potential engine fires remains open, still without a final remedy. The Wrangler 4xe starts at around $58,000. For that money, you get an off-road icon with genuine trail capability, removable doors and roof, and a vehicle that a federal agency told you to keep away from your home and family. Jeep had previously recalled 32,000 Wrangler 4xe models in 2023 for a similar battery defect. they issued a fix. Then the problem came back worse, affecting 5 times as many vehicles. That is not a manufacturer learning from its mistakes. That is a manufacturer failing to solve the same problem twice. So to recap, the Pathfinder eats its own transmission. The Bronco can't keep its wheels attached. The Defender burns through your savings. The Grand Cherokee collects recalls like frequent flyer miles. And the Wrangler 4XE might literally burn down your garage. If you're shopping for a reliable 4x4 that won't destroy your bank account or your peace of mind, I covered 5 that actually deliver in another video. That one's on screen now. If you made it to the end, hit subscribe. I drop new videos on trucks and SUVs every week, and the next one covers the most overpriced trucks on the market right now. See you in the next one.